Well, Sunday afternoon, Canadian football fans were glued to their televisions to watch the CFL semi-finals. Now joining me to discuss both the East and the West games is our CFL expert, Jace Mackey. Jace, thanks for taking this time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Evan.
Now, Jace, quite often in the playoffs, we see new heroes emerge for different teams. One that comes to my mind is back in 2015, Greg Ellingson. With the Ottawa Red Blacks, he helped them cash a ticket to the Grey Cup. Well, this past weekend, we saw a new hero emerge for the Hamilton Tiger Cats in Dane Evans. Just tell us a little bit about his performance.
Yeah, Dane had himself a great game in that Eastern final. So Hamilton is advancing to the Grey Cup. They beat Toronto 27-19 to head to the Grey Cup. And Jeremiah Mazzoli was actually the starting quarterback for Hamilton. He's been their starter for much of the second half of this season and, won them that East semifinal. But things didn't get off to the best start for Hamilton, and Hamilton's coach, Alwando Steinhauer, decided to put Dane Evans in actually in the second quarter, and Hamilton was trailing 12-0 at the half and managed to turn things around in the second half. He went 16 for 16 for 249 yards and a touchdown. So had himself a great performance. I expect him to be the starter for Hamilton as they try to win a Grey Cup at home in Hamilton. One thing I will say about that game as well is Hamilton's defense did a good job of making Toronto settle for field goals. So when they were losing 12-0, that was all off of field goals. So it could have been a lot worse, and it could have been a lot bigger kind of hill for Hamilton to try and get over top, but it was a smaller lead for Toronto, and they were able to come out on top of that game and win the Eastern Division.
Jace, just talking a little bit about defense, jumping out west, the Saskatchewan Roughriders traveled to Winnipeg, and this was a game filled with turnovers.
Yeah, I think going into this game, Saskatchewan, they were big underdogs, and one key in my mind to this game was to turn the ball over and capitalize on turnovers. And if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, in that first half especially, you must have been so happy to see all those turnovers that Winnipeg's offense, or the amount of times that Winnipeg turned that ball over. I think, honestly, there was a combination of probably that cold weather. It was a snowy day in Winnipeg, and also Winnipeg hadn't played a meaningful game since late October that led to those turnovers. But the thing is, if Cody Fajardo and that Saskatchewan offense was not able to capitalize on those turnovers, so it did help by, taking touchdowns for Winnipeg off the board. There's a nice interception in the end zone for Saskatchewan. But at the end of the day, Saskatchewan wasn't able to capitalize on those turnovers. Winnipeg had 6 turnovers. 3 of them were interceptions. The offense did play well, but they did turn the ball over quite a bit. But at the end of the day, Winnipeg was a better team. And when you're playing a team that well, you needed those turnovers. And even with 6 turnovers, the Riders weren't able to do it. Winnipeg's best team in the league in the regular season, and they had themselves a good game on Sunday.
All right, Jace, so we know the two teams going into this upcoming weekend, Sunday, December 12th. For the first time since 2009-2010 between the Montreal Alouettes and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Grey Cup will see a rematch. Now, back in 2019, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won that one 33-12. Earlier this season, the Blue Bombers beat the Ticats 19-6. Quickly here, Jace, who do you like and what do you predict will be the score here?
Now, it's very interesting that we're having a rematch because coming into this season, I think Hamilton was a team that a lot of people thought were going to be strong. Winnipeg people thought would be a competitor in the East, but they really showed to be quite dominant throughout the regular season. And Hamilton actually had, I think they lost 3 in a row starting the regular season, and they had to battle back to be able to try and become competitive. They didn't even win the Eastern Division the regular season. They had that East semi, and they were able to win their way to a home Grey Cup. So that's really huge for them to be able to come off of some early adversity in the beginning of the regular season and make their way to the Grey Cup at home in Tim Hortons Field. I am, though, going to pick Winnipeg to win this game. I think it's hard to go against the record that they had in the regular season and the team that Mike O'Shea has around him in Winnipeg. I do think it's going to be a lot closer than some people may think. I am going to say 30 Winnipeg, 27 Hamilton. The things that I think are going to be helpful for Hamilton is having that home field behind them, being at Tim Hortons Field. I know that it's really hard for opposing teams to win in Hamilton, And I think another thing that's going to be an equalizer is the weather. We haven't had a Grey Cup this late ever in the CFL, so it should be a fun game on Sunday.
Jace, I think I agree with you on the outcome. Maybe not quite on the score, but I guess we will have to wait and see this upcoming Sunday, December 12th. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Jace, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me.
Thanks a lot, Evan.